Welcome to the Mystic Fool's Journey podcast. I'm Anna and this is Ruth.
Howdy.
And this is an occult history podcast. Today we're taking a deep dive into the history of the evil eye. Let's dive on in.
Let's do it up. So, all right, let's break down this whole evil eye thing. So the evil eye is like this ancient belief in a curse triggered by a seriously jealous glare. People have been tripping up on this thing since way back, prehistoric level. They even dug up amulets dating back around 5,000 years, all geared up to shield against the evil eye. And get this, around 40% of the world's crew is on board with this whole evil eye deal.
It's pretty much everywhere. I feel like, we can trace some of it kind of back to certain areas, but it's real. I guess it's just a pervasive thing. This is one of those almost universal truths about humans.
I think it is. At this point, it's like the Ouija board in a sense where it's you can find the evil eye on underwear, you can find the evil eye on slippers, you can find the evil eye, anything on Amazon. They'll make anything, they'll sell anything with the evil eye symbol on it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't quite know what the symbol is and just think it's a pretty design or something like that.
Yeah, they just think it's cool.
Mm-hmm. But even celebrities and Gucci even had a line based off the evil eye. There's just so much about it. It's definitely, a thing that's prevalent in our society.
It's a staple.
It's a staple. So here's the deal. We should clear up a couple of things first. So the blue eye imagery that you see is often called the evil eye, but that's not actually the evil eye. The blue eye that you see on everything everywhere is the amulet, often called a nazar. That's pronounced right?
Yeah, I believe you. That's how I would say it.
Yeah. And the real evil eye isn't the amulet itself, so it's not the blue eye. It's this curse unleashed by a seriously jealous glare. The kind that comes from pure envy. And the amulet, the blue eye, is the superhero charm protecting you from that evil eye curse.
Yep. Apparently throwing shade is just a historical thing humans do. It's oh, okay. So humans just throw nasty looks at each other. And at one point we kind of thought they were filled with evil magic if it was strong enough.
Yeah, we really did. Now, this Nazar amulet has been kicking around in different forms for ages and ages. But tracing back the curse it's shielding you from, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Ancient and a bit tricky. So when someone hits it big or gets major recognition or, whatever would cause envy and jealousy, they also kind of become envy magnets. Everyone around them starts shooting jealous vibes. And guess what? That envy turns it into a curse. And this bad mojo set to undo all the good stuff they've got going on. Now check this out. Okay, here we go with some fancy $10 words that I'm going to get wrong. So here we go. The Heliodorus of Emesa, a dude from ancient Greece, nailed the concept. In his epic Greek romance, Aethiopica, he dropped this wisdom. When someone eyeballs excellence with envy, they basically fill the air with bad vibes and send out their toxic energy to whatever's close by. That's a summation. It's like envy on steroids. It's spreading bad vibes like it's contagious. Every culture's got its own spin on the evil eye too. And the eye symbol is so deep-rooted in our cultures that it's even sneaking into religious texts like the Bible and the Quran. It's no matter the vibes, pagan or not, the evil eye's got a spot in the cultural mix. It's basically the OG legend that refuses to be left out of the story.
I'm learning that we all have a lot more power in our looks, just in our glances at one another than I think anyone wants us to really know. But yeah, I do remember a friend telling me about the evil eye, but from a Mexican culture perspective, because she was oh, sometimes people I think the full phrase is el mal de ojo. So ojo means eye, but sometimes they'll just shorten it to ojos, oh, I don't want to give you ojos. And they'll if someone thinks that they have accidentally glared at someone and they didn't mean to, or they're like envious of someone, they'll like come up and like, I need to touch you to make sure I don't give you ojos. Like they'll be like, no, like they will come up and like touch you to just like make sure that they dispel anything they might have accidentally sent your way.
Fun.
But also, I was like, but also there's this custom that I learned about where in some parts of Mexico is that they'll tie a bracelet usually made of red string around a baby's wrist, because it's thought that like children aren't, they're very vulnerable and they aren't like strong enough to know to like dispel the magic, or like they have like their defenses are down. They're babies, right?
Yeah, right.
So a lot of babies will have this red bracelet, and in some areas they even tie this. They'll weave a local seed. I don't know where the seed is from. I'm not sure like what plant or tree. And it just kind of depends on the area, but sometimes it's like they can stop wearing the bracelet once they can start speaking, or if they have that seed, it's when the seed turns from its dark brown color to a light brown color, they can take the bracelet off, because that means it's like, cool, they're old enough that they won't be as vulnerable to the evil eye. So it's just super cool to hear about all these different. Yeah, I was like, I want to know more. I want to know all the other. Write in. Does your culture?
Yeah, tell us everything.
I want to know what your amulets are.
I think it's a good idea to be protecting these babies, because I know that I am obscenely jealous of babies and glare at a baby every chance I get. Like, I see a baby and I'm like, that fucking baby's got no taxes to pay.
No taxes,
He's just
no
chilling,
bills.
Drinking milk, eating Cheerios. Like, that's a good baby life.
Good baby life. Just shit your pants and walk around and no one cares.
Exactly. So anyways, I'm glad there's protection against all the bad vibes I'm throwing to babies.
Yeah, clearly Ruth is the one that you have to worry about ojos from. So
right. So big thinkers have even thrown in their 2 cents, and one cool cat was a Greek philosopher, Plutarch, which, I mean, best name in all of history.
That's a great name.
So he went deep in his Symposiacs, suggesting that the human eye is like a superhero shooting out invisible energy rays. And get this, these rays could be so hardcore that they might even knock out kids or little animals. So basically like the ultimate staring contest.
Talking about like windows to the soul, like I'm imagining lasers shooting out of people's eyes coming from their deep jealousy. Like, who needs a mood ring to let people know how you feel when you can just zap people with your NB lasers?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like constantly on top of my smizing when I'm out and about now after reading about this.
Yeah, how many people have you cursed? How many people do you think you've accidentally cursed, Ruth?
Well, as we'll hear in this next paragraph, I have brown eyes. So I think I'm a little bit less guilty of sending jealousy and envy my way than some of our blue-eyed counterparts.
I don't have blue eyes. They don't say anything about green eyes, though. Or like
green
hazel.
and blue adjacent. They're lighter than brown.
Fine. That's true. They are lighter than brown. Well, let's get into it. What do you mean?
Okay, so Plutarch, he wasn't done there. He believed that some folks were like evil eye pros. And he was especially fixated on this group of people down south of the Black Sea. According to him, they were like the MVPs of cursing in a way. And here's a wild twist. Those with blue eyes were often the culprits. Why? Well, it turns out blue eyes are like a rare gem in the Mediterranean genetic pool. So if you've got those baby blues, watch out. You might accidentally be casting some evil vibes without even knowing it.
Oh, we should watch out for our partners. They've both
got blue eyes.
They both have blue eyes. How did we manage that?
How did we manage to curse ourselves? We set ourselves up for failure in life.
We literally were like, bring the danger. I'm ready.
It's good neither of us have babies, you know?
Yeah, because Ruth would be sending bad vibes to both of them. Like, it doesn't matter whose it was.
Right? So the idea that some folks have this intense glare that can mess things up is pretty standard in evil eye stories. But here's the twist. Not everyone thinks that these gaze masters are out to do harm on purpose. In some cultures, having the power to drop the evil eye is seen as a major bummer, like a curse in of itself.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's how it suck to grow up in like that culture and you're just like, I swear I'm not doing anything on purpose, but you're just like the scapegoat. Like, this just sounds like a way to like find an easy scapegoat when stuff goes wrong that like a village couldn't control or explain. They're just like, it's the blue-eyed one.
It's fucking that one. Jeremy over there in the corner.
Jeremy, stop looking at me.
Baby blues, man. getting lost in that ocean of jealousy.
That makes it really weird when you think about some of the cultures that like love blue eyes like a little too much, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, is it because they can cast the evil eye?
Yeah, do you remember that one famous photo on that National Geographic cover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think it was I'm gonna apologize to anybody who knows, and I don't. I think it was from a woman from Afghanistan, and she's
Yeah.
wearing like this red robe that is covering her head, and she just has these piercing eyes. Stunning photo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like there was some power in that. That was like, oh.
Yeah, all that to say, like, I do know a couple of blue-eyed guys and gals that are like, if I look at them, I'm like, dude, those eyes gotta hurt. Like,
Right, like
those
you
are
don't
some
feel that?
baby blues. So let me hit you with a wild, wild, wild example from an old Polish folk tale. There's this guy whose gaze was like a curse bomb. So strong that he was like, nah, I'm not bringing bad vibes to my people. So what does he do? Dude cuts out his own eyes just to stop spreading misfortune to his own loved ones. And so that's some heavy sacrifice to dodge the evil eye drama.
I can't say I'm that, I don't know what to call that, benevolent, like
Mentally ill?
Oh yeah, I was like, listen, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I feel like one of my biggest fears in life is like something happening to my eyes.
Yeah, I can safely say the same. I feel like we depend on them so much.
Yeah, right.
Like literally everything that I do relies on me being able to see. So this is
could do, like
Yeah.
could do in the future. You like it's like
Right.
there's no I
Right.
don't know.
It's hard to be a graphic designer when you can't
Right.
look at Photoshop.
Exactly. So folks were dead serious about the idea that a nasty stare could bring on major bad luck. So what did they do? They went out on a mission to find a way to kick that evil eye to the curb. And voila, the OG Nazar amulet was born. We're talking ancient here, like way back around like 3300 BC.
Wow. That's
So-
impressive.
Yeah, we're going to quote a lot from this doctor's work. I apologize once again. Nisi Yildiran. Dr. Yildiran, a cool art history professor at an Istanbul University. The earliest eye amulets were dug up in Tel Brak, which is, I guess, an ancient city in Mesopotamia. That's modern-day Syria, I think, right now. And picture this, they weren't your typical eye-shaped charms. They were more like abstract alabaster idols rocking incised eyes. And so that's some serious ancient eye game right there.
They're just carrying around baby statues instead of these charms. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy once you think about it? Like, after our amulets and charms series, it is crazy to think about, like, do you pick a different amulet to carry each day? Do you carry several at a time?
Do you just have like a bag of trinkets that you've got tied to your waist? You're like, I got them all. I'm
Right.
covered.
Exactly. So those ancient alabaster idols from Tel Brak were like the OG eye amulets, but they're a far cry from the cool blue glass vibes we're used to today. The classic blue ones didn't start popping up in the Mediterranean scene until around like 1500 BCE. Now you might be wondering, how did we go from those ancient idols to the snazzy blue glass versions we know and love?
I do wonder.
I have the answers for you.
Yes.
So apparently it's all about leveling up the glass game. Glass beads of the Aegean Islands and Asia Minor were all because of improvements in glass production. That cool blue color that we associate with the evil eye, it's like a gift from Egyptian glazed mud, packed in a bunch of oxides.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
unknown what an oxide actually is, but that's what they say.
Don't worry, it's a real thing.
I read it online, it's true.
It's definitely true.
So copper and cobalt then jump in on the action, baking up that sweet blue hue that we can't get enough of. It's like ancient chemistry creating the trendy amulet look.
It is always impressive to me that cultures just figured this shit out. Like, we know now a lot about chemistry and how, like, copper reacts with certain things, or cobalt and oxides. Like, we understand that now. Maybe not me personally, but, you know. But it's just like, cultures just figured this out. They're like, I'm going to stick this thing in a hot-ass oven. And whoa, look at that. It changed color, and now it's harder, and I can, like, use it as a tool. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I'm sure that there was some semblance of science and tracking for these sorts of things, but I do wonder, like, how they figured all this out. And, like, bread, how'd we figure that out, that we needed to bake it?
Just, like, to be fair, they didn't have to go to the same kind of jobs we do today, and they lived in communities where people traded off responsibilities for, like, laundry and cooking. So, like, you had a lot more time to just, like, hang out, and you got bored. And when humans get bored, we try weird things. Like,
we do try weird things.
We'll eat weird foods. We'll put stuff in fire. Like, it's our base instinct to be like, well, I'm bored, so let's just start combining a bunch of weird shit and see what happens. And now we have this.
Yeah, it just makes me think back to, like, all the funny people with crazy jobs we always talk about. Like, I loved, like, the magicians in the Amulet series, where it's like, or no, it was the Plato and all his buddies, like, figuring out what has vibes with each other. So then the magicians have to, like, make the amulets based off the vibes of everything. It's like, dude, we truly had so much time.
So much more time on our hands.
And so back in ancient Egypt, they were rocking these blue eye of Horus pendants, basically kind of like the OG modern Nazar. And early Turkic tribes were all about this specific shade of blue, thanks to their sky deity, Tengri.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, and now these blue evil eye beads started making the rounds big time. Phoenicians, Assyrians, Greeks, Romans, everyone was vibing with them. The Ottomans in particular took the trend to a whole new level. Even though the action was mostly in the Mediterranean and the Levant, these blue-eyed beads were like globetrotters, making their way to all corners of the globe thanks to trade and empires doing their thing. Gotta love that imperialism.
There it is.
So the evil eye's been on the scene for ages, and not much has changed in how we use it. We're still slapping evil eyes on the side of planes, just like the Egyptians and the Etruscans painted eyes on their ships for safe travels. And get this, because I personally am so jealous when I see another country's warships going out. I'm like, dude, that ship makes me envious. It really gets my eye lasers going.
Definitely.
And so get this, in Turkey, it's a tradition to bring an evil eye token to the newborns, like you were saying. Babies! All because they believe little ones are most at risk of catching that curse. Once again, I am out to destroy these babies.
Ruth is the one that they're actually protecting. Ruth, are you like some ancient deity that hates babies?
I hate babies, and you can quote me on that.
She's just so jealous. I don't understand.
Got cute outfits, and they look so dumb, I just want to kick them.
We're gonna have a lot of dirt on Ruth by the end of this podcast.
Right?
It's gonna be great. I think one thing that people might see, which is like a very recent modern evolution of the evil eye, is obviously we're used to the blue, but now you can find them in different colors.
Really?
Yeah, and like I started to see some where like, so we're used to the blue on blue, but then there's red evil eyes, which supposedly signify like courage and protection. It's interesting. Yeah, and then there's white evil eyes and black and pink, and I think this is a very modern thing now that we have like color magic and we've blended these cultures so much. I think that this is just a natural evolution of like, well, if the evil eye protects from jealousy, we need other colors to protect from other things.
Right.
So sometimes you can find different colored evil eyes.
Yeah, that's a great little evolution. Would that make this categorize it as a complex amulet?
Ooh, I think so.
Because we have glass.
It's color.
It's color, it's glass, and is it inscribed? I mean, what's the one that was stepped down from a complex amulet?
compound.
Yeah,
I think compound amulet was just when you combine two things, where it's like,
yeah.
I like wrapped this amethyst in copper wire to make it a necklace, is like a compound amulet.
Yeah, so it'd have to be a compound amulet.
I think
then.
it's compound because you're just combining color with the eye, which is considered to be the important thing, the symbol. It's not even like the glass is what's causing the protection, it's the eye symbol itself. So like you can draw it, you can paint it, you can make it out of clay.
Man, it's so cool that we know all this knowledge now about these sorts of things.
Super fun. That's why we're here making this podcast.
Yay, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
No babies allowed, though.
No babies allowed, apparently. It's noted. I'll tell all our baby subscribers to leave.
Right. So anyways, this ancient vibe is still going strong to this day, and that's kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. If you're a fan of the podcast, we need you to do this to find new fans. Or else, hey, our eye lasers,
they're coming for you.
They're coming for you. So tell your friends, follow us on all socials. Our handles are Sweet Death Inc. and Mystic Fool Tarot on all platforms. See you later.
Bye.